So Ali, it's good to be in the building. It's good to be in Grange Pavilion.
It's very exciting.
Really exciting, isn't it? I just want to kind of like look at the history of it. Let's talk a bit about, have a little discussion about how did we get here?
Yeah.
Because obviously, given the area, given the settings, it's a wonderful building for them to have. So let's just kind of look back. What are we talking about? 2012, I think.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the story from that beginning.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely amazing journey. I'm a local resident myself, as you know, Dan, and I first got involved in a project when Myri and Rosie came to the Buzz Cafe, which is not far from here in Grangetown. I wasn't working for the project at the time, and they were telling me about how the university are going to be coming into Grangetown and want to engage with the community 8 years ago. I was really excited because we had other institutions, university institutions, higher education institutions, but not a Russell Group University, you know. So, and at the time I worked with youngsters and I was supporting them into education, training, and I was like, wow, you know, this is a Russell Group University, coming to Grangetown, I can inspire them now to go and achieve, you know, be the best they can.
Brilliant. So let's remember, so previously on here there was an old Bowls Pavilion, I think from the 60s or 70s. I believe they hadn't been used for a while. What state was the building in? What did the community think of the building at the time?
At the time it was in a real bad state, the old Bowls Pavilion here, and the local community, even myself, I used to come to this park regularly, and it was a sight for sore eyes, genuinely. And then, you know, from the university's engagement in the first 2 years to want to revamp the space just to get things happening, that made it, that started the conversations and the path for an exciting end.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because if an institution, as you say, just comes in and says this is what you're going to have as a community, I don't think communities anywhere, especially in Grangetown, will take too well to it, really. And almost to use the existing building as a kind of hub. I mean, previously it was getting trashed, it was getting vandalised, wasn't it? And thankfully we haven't had anything with the building so far. So to come in an institution to say to the community, this is what you're going to have, I don't think will work, will it really?
No way. Yeah.
And the community then, from my memory, set up a number of their own groups. Yep. So the Grangetown Community Action Group and the Grange Pavilion project got together, set up through Grange Festival, and we had years and years of consultation, wasn't it? Almost, one could say, designed by consultation.
Absolutely.
Really talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, honestly, the end goal to where we are here today, if you asked me in 2012, this is what we're going to have, I'd say no chance. It was never going to be like this, 100%. Why? Because you couldn't see that far ahead. But what the project allowed was for lots of conversations to happen. And not with the same people either. I mean, the project realised straight away that Grangetown was such a unique place. Loads of different stakeholders, faith groups, non-faith groups, schools, non-education institutions, the local independent businesses, and it seemed like everybody was involved in helping shape what this new Grange Pavilion was going to look like. And I think that made a difference to when the boards went down, to everyone being like, wow, you know, I remember feeding into this building.
I just remember you being a fantastic catalyst to bring people together, and coming one evening and there was people playing on the old Bowls green, and just people were really interested in what was happening. And then we almost held a series of groups together where we got them with shapes and colours and everything to understand how they might, where they wanted stuff in the building. Now, don't get me wrong, as an architect, this is scary, right? Because most projects from me, if I look at it from my perspective, most projects from me, I get given this 30-page brief, this is exactly what we want, and every time you look back to see whether you're meeting that brief. There was no real brief. So the design grew from the community. That time when we had the building open, we got to understand the temporary building, we got to understand, did they want a cafe? Did they not want a cafe? What activities they want to take place? Did the community really want to engage with it? And then we got them to work with bits of architecture, and that day was amazing. We had children, old people, young people of all ages, of all backgrounds, grabbing pieces of architecture and going, we'll have the cafe there, and we'll have this here, and we'll have that there, and this is how we want it to look like in the park. And but honestly, that's scary for me as an architect, because you're almost designing with thousands of people involved, but it's really come together so nicely.
Yes.
And from my perspective, what we've done here is we haven't given a strict building, we've created a shell, and it created opportunities. So let's take the steel beams. You're going to hang colours from it, you're going to hang banners from it, loads of different events can take place just using the steel work. And I think the more and more we do stuff like that in buildings, people's personalities can come onto the building, and that will change over time. So things change and ideas change and people's perspectives on life change, but the building can literally be this framework for it to happen.
Yeah, honestly, it's absolutely amazing. And just now we're starting to open up and have some activities. Local residents are coming in. We're showing them around. Obviously, COVID compliant. Everyone seems to be blown away. They're like, wow, we did not expect it to be like this. But very much proud and excited to come and visit, to enjoy a cup of coffee at the cafe, to come to some events which we've got planned, and also to even host their own and book their own parties and festivals and events too.
Great. What are we looking? What activities do you think will look to happen? So we got what's this Saturday? Remind me.
So this Saturday is a world market in Grangetown. We've got about 15 stalls. Independent businesses who are going to be popping up their business when they got under the gazebo. Hopefully the weather will hold out for us, and we invite local residents to come and engage with these local independent businesses, spend money with them, and a lot of them are homemade, either food or designs, and over the last couple of years they've been extremely popular. Brilliant. So hopefully this year will be popular as well.
Fantastic. And will the Grange Festival?
That's the plan.
So tell me a bit about that. What happens on that? Because that's quite a big event. Right?
It is. The Grange Festival is like the annual Grangetown event run by Grangetown Community Action, one of our partners with the project, and it's a whole idea. Every year they have a theme, and the idea is that the whole community come together. There's lots of stalls again. The bandstand has music playing. The local elected representatives, the councillor, the MP, the assembly member, they often come here and talk to local residents. It's a really fun carnival atmosphere in Grangetown, and again, when the weather's lovely and the weather's nice, honestly, it's one of the best days in the community, and you see everybody coming out, all colours, all backgrounds, all cultures, enjoying themselves. Really makes Grangetown what it is.
It's nice for me as an architect and the designer of it, and it gives me goosebumps really, because I know it's going to have two extremes. So we're going to have days when this building is part of a wonderful festival, people wandering through from the parkland, a listed parkland, into the bowls area, onto the green now we've got, and it'll just become almost part of the urban space. And then on the flip side, on a rainy day like this, it's just going to be wonderful for one person and their dog to come in and have a cup of coffee and get away from the world and just have that moment of peace and quiet, to pick up a book, read in here, and to have those complete extremes and complete opposites that the building can serve is really, really good. I think one of the residents wonderfully said, and for me as an architect, where it's all about people, and that proved it through the consultations, we designed it through people. He said it's a place for his daughter in the future to feel safe and to grow and to become a person. And for me, I've done my job really. It's wonderful that we win awards, but the fact that a building can make someone feel happier in themselves and make a community feel proud of who they are, which is the feedback so far, I think it's just wonderful.
It is.
It's really, really wonderful. Thank you.
No, well done. Thank you.